Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students and everyone. I hope you all will be fine, healthy, and safe at home. I'm Marvi Chanjo, lecturer English from Girls Degree College Sakran. So, do you hear about the fairy tales? Characters just like fairies, prince, princess, genie, etc. But today's story is not about fairy tales. It's about a little innocent and very lonely girl, Lucy Gray. Yes, today I'm going to tell you about a beautiful poem, Lucy Gray, written by a famous English poet of 18th century, the poet of nature, William Wordsworth. Before going to the poem, I must tell you about the author, William Wordsworth. He was born on 7th April 1770 at Cockermouth in Lake District, England, and died on 23rd April 1850 at the age of 80 and buried at Rydal, Westmoreland, England at St. Oswald's Church, Grasmere. He lived in Lake District. He educated at Oxford Grammar School and then St. John College, Cambridge. He had deep affection and love for his sister Dorothy. Wordsworth got married with his childhood friend Mary Hudson, from whom he had 5 children, 1 son and 4 daughters. Wordsworth's career and major works. Wordsworth made his debut as a writer in 1787 when he published a sonnet in the European magazine, but he formally started his career in 1793 with the publication of Descriptive Sketches and An Evening Walk. But his publication of Lyrical Ballad in association with his friend Coleridge in 1798 forms one of the great landmarks in the history of English poetry, just as Wordsworth's preface to the second edition of 1800 forms one of the great landmarks of English criticism. After that, he wrote 2 volumes of his short poems in 1807. Most of the masterpieces among his shorter poems are found in this volume. He wrote his great autobiographical poem, The Prelude, in 1807, but it was not published until 1850. He also wrote his famous odes in these 2 volumes. Number 1, Ode to Intimations of Immortality from Recollections of Early Childhood, and second, Ode to Duty. Then he wrote French Revolution in 1810 and in the last, The Exertion in 1814. Wordsworth is a poet and critic, introduced a new conception of poetic style, insisting that the plain language of common speech was a fit medium for the poet. Again, he insisted that the ordinary events in humble lives were fit subject matter when viewed by the poetic imagination. He said that there should be a certain coloring of imagination when the poet is truly inspired by his imagination. He had love for nature and natural beauty. In this way, a revelation of God in the beauty of nature came into English poetry. He had love for his Lake District because its beautiful landscapes and natural beauty. In the last, he insisted that all words of people could not be used in poetry, but the language of the people should be filtered and refined. Lucy Gray is for first year class as well as for BA, BSc Part 2. So, come to the poem. Lucy Gray is a poem he wrote in 1799 and published in his Lyrical Ballads. The poem was inspired by Wordsworth being surrounded by snow and his sister's memory of a real incident that happened at Halifax. The poem describes the tragic death of a little girl named Lucy Gray. Lucy Gray is a form of lyrical poetry as it expresses thoughts and feelings of the poet. Specifically, the poem is ballad as it relates a folk tale, the tale of Lucy Gray. Now the thing is that what is ballad? A poem or song narrating a story in short stanzas is called ballad. Mostly the traditional ballads are typically of unknown authorship. We don't know who is the real author of that ballad. It having been passed and orally from one generation to the next generation. So come to the theme and aspect of the poem. In this poem, Wordsworth is trying to describe how Lucy, a girl connected to nature, dies. She is part of nature. The poem narrates the soul-stirring story of a sweet girl. She lived with her parents in a small cottage on a wild moor. She had no friend, no playmate or companion, but she was the sweetest product of nature. Two of the main themes throughout Wordsworth's poem concern nature and the loss of a loved one. So, thing is that Lucy travels through the wilderness. It is suggested that she enjoys nature because people claims to hear her playfully whistling on her journey to town. Lucy is depicted as an innocent child who enjoys the natural environment. Also, Wordsworth examines the loss of a loved one throughout the poem. Lucy's parents are concerned about their daughter's well-being when she does not arrive in town. The next day, they search through the wild and are in grief to discover that Lucy's footprints and on the bridge. The story was that Lucy's father told her to go to the town and bring her mother home. She took lantern and went to the town, but she was caught up in a storm and was buried in the snow. Though she is dead, but some people believe that she is still living child and walks over the hills and plains. The sweet song of Lucy Gray can be heard when wind is blowing. Okay girls, now I am going to explain this poem stanza wise. So, come to the first stanza. Oft I heard of Lucy Gray, and when I crossed the wild, I chanced to see at break of day the solitary child. So here, oft means often, wild means a natural state or uncultivated region or land. Solitary means lonely or all alone. In this first stanza, Wordsworth says he had often heard of Lucy Gray and wanted to see the lovely child when he crossed the wild area early in the morning. She lived with her parents on a wild moor. Come to the next stanza, stanza number 2. No mate, no comrade, Lucy knew. She dwelt on a wild moor, the sweetest thing that ever grew beside a human door. Here, mate means friend, dwelt means live in a specific place, just like Lucy lived on a wild moor, the wild fields. Here, Wordsworth says that Lucy lived all alone. She had no friends, no companion. She lived on wild fields. She was a child of nature, just nature was her friend. She was so beautiful that no child like her was born in the house of a man of that valley. Stanza number 3. You yet may spy the fawn at play, the hare upon the green, but the sweet face of Lucy Gray will never more be seen. Here, Spy means to see or observe carefully. Fawn means young deer. Hare means wild rabbit large in size. Here poet says to readers that you may see the wild feet in there, where the deer play happily. The hare is also seen jumping over the green grass, but Lucy is no more present there. With this stanza, the poet reveals that something has happened to Lucy. Stanza number 4. Tonight will be a stormy night, you to the town must go, and take a lantern child to light your mother through the snow. In this stanza, the poet is describing how Lucy's father asked her to go to the town and bring her mother back home. Now poet telling a story behind the incident of Lucy's death. Lucy's father thinked that the night would be stormy. Therefore, he advised her to take a lantern with her to guide her mother through the snow. Stanza number 5. That father will I gladly do. This scarcely afternoon. The minister clock has just struck 2, and yonder is the moon. Minister clock means clock of the church. Yonder is the moon. It means there is the moon. Lucy pointed out to the direction of the moon. In these lines, Lucy told her father that it was still midday and not very late. Church clock struck only 2 and moon would be seen in the sky. She assured her father, like an obedient child, that she would go happily. Stanza number 6. At this the father raised his hook and snapped a figured band. He plied his work and Lucy took the lantern in her hand. Hook means a farming tool. Snap means cracking sound to break something. Fagot band means a band holding of a bundle of sticks together. After Lucy's father had asked that Lucy to go to the town to bring her mother back home, he became busy in his work. He raised his hook and cut a bundle of sticks. He knew that Lucy was an obedient girl and she would go to the town gladly. Then Lucy took the lantern in her hand and went to the town. Stanza number 7. Not breather is the mountain row with many a wanton stroke. Her feet disperse the powdery snow that rises up like smoke. Here, blither means more joyfully. Row means small species of deer of mountain. Wanton means playing here and there purposelessly. Here verse says, Lucy went to the town. She was jumping over the snow. Verse compares Lucy to mountain deer. Lucy was in playful mood and went on happily. She was dispersing the powdery snow with her feet, which was rising like smoke. Here poet describing the innocent character of Lucy. The storm came on before its time. She wandered up and down, and many a hill did Lucy climb, but never reached the town. In stanza number 8, poet is describing that how Lucy lost her way in the hills when the snowstorm came unfortunately before time, and Lucy lost her way. She walked over the hills and on the fields, but could not find her way to go to town. The wretched parents all that night went shouting far and wide, but there was neither sound nor sight to serve them for a guide. This stanza reveals that at some point during the night, Lucy's mother returned home. But when her parents realized that Lucy did not return home, the parents went into the hills in search of their daughter and shouted for Lucy, but they did not find any trace of the girl. There was neither sight nor sound of Lucy. They found nothing in the darkness and silence of the night. Stanza number 10. At daybreak on a hill they stood that overlooked the moor, and thence they saw the bridge of wood a furlong from their door. Early in the morning they climbed the hill from where they could look at the wild moor. Then from above they saw a wooden bridge at a short distance from the door of their house. They walked to the bridge to find some trace of Lucy's feet. Now come to the stanza 11. They wept and turning homeward cried, in heaven we all shall meet, when in the snow the mother espied the print of Lucy's feet. In the morning when Lucy's mother saw Lucy's footprints in the snow, she cried and wept and said they would meet their child in the heaven again, because Lucy had been all night in the storm. She was not likely to have survived. However, the sight of her footprints gave hope. Stanza number 12. Then downwards from the steep hill edge, they'll track the footmarks small, and through the broken hawthorn hedge, and by the long stone wall. Hill's edge means border or outside of a hill. Hawthorn is a thorny shrub or tree planted in a hedges. In this stanza, Wordsworth said that Lucy's parents, then following the footprints of Lucy, they climbed down the hill. They did not miss even a single mark. They see that Lucy walked through the broken hawthorn hedge and by the long stone wall with hope in their hearts. They continue to follow her footsteps. Stanza number 13. And then an open field they crossed. The marks were still the same. The track them on nor ever lost, and to the bridge they came. The parents tracked her parents all the way across the field, and they reached on a wooden bridge and could see the footprints clearly. Stanza number 14. They followed from the snowy bank the footmarks one by one into the middle of the plank, and further there were none. This stanza clearly mentions that while the parents follow the footsteps of the child, there is hope that she might be found alive at the end of those footprints. Instead, the prince led the parents to the middle of the plank on the bridge, and suddenly the footprints stopped. It seems that Lucy fell off the bridge. Stanza number 15. Yet some mention that to this day she is a living child, that you may see sweet Lucy Gray upon the lonely, lonesome wild. This stanza describing the tragic death of Lucy. Lucy is no more living the world, yet there are some people who do not believe that she has died. They think that Lucy is alive because they have often seen her walking, singing upon the wild fields. Now, the last stanza, 16th stanza. Over rough and smooth she trips along, and never looks behind, and sings a solitary song that whistles in the wind. In this last stanza, Wordsworth says that she sings a song and never looks behind. The people also believe that the sweet song of Lucy can be heard when wind is blowing. Here Wordsworth wants to say that Lucy has become a part of nature after her death. Figurative language used in Lucy Gray. Wordsworth used many figures of speech, but he frequently used alliteration in Lucy Gray. So first of all, it is necessary to know about what is figurative language. using figure of speech, descriptive language to talk about something in a way that it normally wouldn't be. It is called figurative language. The question is that what is alliteration? Alliteration is a series of repeated consonants which correspond to the stress levels in a line of a poem. For example, first, Hawthorne Hedge in line number 47 sings a solitary song. Line number 63, Whistles in the Wind. Line number 64. Okay, let's watch. In stanza number 12 and line number 3, you can see clearly Hawthorne Hedge. The phrase Hawthorne Hedge repeated the same consonant sound of H. And in the end, the most significant use of alliteration in this poem occurs in the final verse with the phrases stanza number 16 and line number 3 and 4. In 3 line number, you can see clearly. And sings a solitary song. Here is the alliteration of S, and the sound is picked up again in 4th line. Whistles in the wind. Here we have further alliteration of W. So you can see that here whistles, wind. Here both these sounds suggest the mournful sound of the wind sighing over the wild moors. So I hope you understand the lecture very well, and I hope so this lecture should be beneficial for your studies at home. So girls, stay home, stay safe, have a good time. Thanks. Allah Hafiz.